A UK court has seized a £1 million home owned by the wife of a Nigerian Senator Sunday Katung. So let me give you a little background to this story. So in 2015, Mrs. Katung signed a contract of sale agreement to buy this property, which was valued at £1 million. And a property valued at £1 million in 2015, the deposit was £400,000. So Mrs. Katung agreed to pay the £400,000 in 2 installments. The first installment she paid £40,000 and the second and final installment £360,000, and that would have completed the deposit payment. But now the court is saying that they have evidence to believe that the £360,000 originated from Nigeria was obtained by criminal conduct. That is the background to the story. Now let's just dive right in. Good afternoon. Welcome to The Real. Here we share real stories, real experiences of real people, immigrants living in the diaspora. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I would love to have your company. So come on over, subscribe to my channel, share this video, and don't forget to turn on that notification so you'll see when I post my next video. So the senator's wife has landed herself in big trouble in the UK. This is the story. The UK Court of Justice at King Bench Division has granted a forfeiture order on a property occupied by the Lord Mayor of Leeds, who is Abigail Katung. And let me just tell you a little bit about Abigail. Abigail was born in Nigeria. She came to the UK to study at Leeds University. After her studies, she remained living in the UK, and now she's the Lord Mayoress of Leeds, a position that she took up in 2024. She's the first person of African descent to hold that position. So that is something that we should be proud of and to celebrate, isn't it? She's also supported by her husband, Sunday Katung, who is a serving senator and a former member of the House of Representatives in Nigeria. And a forfeiture order basically means a legal ruling by the court that requires someone to surrender their property or their financial assets to the government if the government suspect criminal activity. For example, if the government suspect that the money you used to buy the property came from proceeds of crime, they will ask you to surrender those properties or your assets. That's just basically what it means. So the court in the UK ordered the National Crime Agency, the NCA, to take possession and recover the property, which was originally owned by a wealthy businessman. So in 2015, Abigail bought the property from a wealthy businessman named Mansour Hussain. This man was previously accused of money laundering for major crime lords in the north of England, and Abigail has no connection with this man at all. All she did was she bought the property from him. So Abigail, who is the wife of Sunday Katung, a Nigerian senator. This senator represents Kaduna South District in Nigeria. And this lady currently lives in the property with her 2 children. She occupies the property. But in 2015, Mrs. Katung signed a contract of sale agreement to buy this said property from Mr. Hussain. And the property was valued at £1 million. So as I said, as part of the agreement, the deposit was $400,000. She paid $40,000 and then she paid the other $360,000. But now the court is saying that they have evidence to believe that the $360,000 originated from Nigeria was obtained by criminal conduct. Mrs. Katung explained to the court that due to new policies in 2015, she had to use a black market to transfer the funds from Nigeria to the United Kingdom. She also said that some of the funds were sourced by her husband. So she said her husband took out a loan valued at 120 million naira to help her. But the court is saying there are too many gaps. There are too many missing pieces because Mrs. Katung did not disclose any documentation to prove or to show that the transaction was lawful. That is where the court stands at this moment. During an interview with the court, Mrs. Katung told the court that her husband took out a loan a loan of 120 million naira from a bank in Nigeria, and that they use a money exchange operator in Nigeria to exchange the naira to pound sterling, and then they send that pound sterling into a business account in the UK, a business which is owned by Mr. Katung, her husband. That was her explanation. Now, this is where the problem lies, because the court is saying that because Mrs. Katung uses a company to transfer that money, it's almost like being in disguise. Because when you use a company, you're not using your personal name, you're using your company. So you're trying to hide something. So that's why the court is having suspicion. But Mrs. Katung said that she only did that because it was easier to transfer from a company account to a personal account. So she's saying that when the money gets here to the UK and it's in the business account, she could easily transfer it from that business account into her personal account in order to pay the deposit. The court is also saying that they found that the majority of the payments made into the bank account in the UK was not made from agents in the UK or from that of Nigeria. So you see, when I say there are many gaps, there are a lot of gaps, there are missing pieces of the puzzle. Mrs. Katung added that she also relied on family and friends in Nigeria to assist her with currency exchanges and payments. So when the court is saying that not all of that money was paid from agents either here or in Nigeria. So this is where Mrs. Katung filled that gap. She's now saying that she relied on friends and family to help her with the currency exchange in Nigeria. But the court was still not satisfied with Mrs. Katung's explanation. They were still not satisfied with that explanation from her or from her lawyer. So the judge gave her time to provide adequate documentation explaining what happened in 2015, where that money came from. The case was adjourned and a new date was set for Mrs. Katung to return to court with adequate documentation. So new date was set for June. So Mrs. Katung returned to court in June, and the judge said that, and I quote, "Surprisingly, Mrs. Katung's witness statements in these proceedings did not address how the payments were made, nor did they seek to explain what she had said at her interview." So remember I said she gave an interview where she said her husband got a loan and she had family and friends to help her with exchange and with payments. So none of the paperwork that she provided addressed all those questions. The judge continued to say that, more surprisingly, Mrs. Katung has disclosed very little documentation which bears on these transfers, and there is no witness statement from her husband alone to help you with this transaction, with buying that property. Now the UK court is questioning where that money came from. Your husband would write a statement. If he's not here with you, if he can't be here with you, he would write a statement, or your lawyers would advise him to write a letter, a statement, a witness statement, so they can present it to the court in support of the case. But there was no witness statement from her husband. The judge said these are telling omissions from which I draw an adverse inference. And these are the judge's words. The judge is saying these are telling omissions from which he will make a decision. The only witness statement that Mrs. Katung provided was from a limited company in Nigeria, which stated that her husband, Mr. Katung, was with that company in Nigeria, which is a money exchange company. That was the only witness statement. So the court did their own research on this limited company in Nigeria and found that that company was not on the list of registered money exchange companies in Nigeria. Now, that is not to say that she was lying, because if you're from back home, there are many people back home, many companies back home who do businesses and they're not registered. So with all these missing pieces and gaps and unanswered questions, the judge concluded that the National Crime Agency contends that the entire property, including the deposit on the property, represents money obtained from criminal conduct. Those were the judge's words. Hence, the property was recoverable under the UK Proceeds of Crime Act 2002. That is the conclusion that the judge made. And this judgment was delivered in June 2025. So the judge ruled that the property and its possessions should be recovered by the National Crime Agency. Let me know what you think about this story. Do you feel any sympathy for Abigail Katung? Was this an honest mistake made by Abigail, or was this naivety? Some people are saying that she knew exactly what she was doing and she deliberately tried to deceive the authorities. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, share, and please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have your company. Turn on the notification so you'll see my next post. And I'll catch you in the next one.